Hi, I'm Chris McCoy, and welcome to the Memphis Flyer Podcast. Every week we jump on here to tell you what's going on in Memphis, what we're covering in the paper. And this week I have the great Michael Donahue, journalism legend in Memphis here.
I like that.
And because he wrote the cover story. What's the cover story about?
Mempops, our favorite.
Show them the cover.
Now, I brought this because I want you to note the cover because I took all the pictures for this story, but I'm really proud of the cover. I was at the Elvis Sevens rugby tournament, and we were trying to come up with a cover, and I saw this guy with the pink hair, and I thought, okay, this is perfect. So pink, strawberry, cherry, Mempops.
Yeah, you got him the strawberry lemonades.
I know, and both of them are so cool, and they both look perfect. I did everything I was supposed to do, and it worked. I'm so happy.
Hey.
So make sure you get one. I did all the other pictures inside for my story.
And you also wrote. You also wrote the story.
I wrote the story too, but it was fascinating. I mean, it's we all go to every event. Mempops is there, which was funny because I was covering the Elvis tournament, and I didn't know Mempops was going to be there, and I'd already written the story, and I was like, hooray! But you go to anywhere, the Shell, just any event you go to, you're going to either see the cart, the Mempop blue and red and white cart, or they have a trailer. They have many trailers, many carts. And
said they had 15 total now. Is that right?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah,
but
carts, and they have those Airstream trailers that they're using.
And they have more than one of those. And this guy J.C. Summerall, which y'all may remember him from Central Barbecue, which is where he and Chris Taylor worked at one time. Because Chris is actually a chef. Chris Taylor is the founder of Mempops, and this was just his idea. He went to college and majored in economics, I believe, and he had a business job and some kind of business. But
said he didn't like to tuck his shirt in.
He didn't like to tuck his shirt in, but
which relatable.
Does? I know. I almost wore a T-shirt. But he.
Anna told me that I need to wear a Memphis Flyer T-shirt when we do this.
Great.
Yeah, this is a great Memphis Flyer T-shirt, which you can purchase.
I want one of those. Yeah,
you don't have to purchase it because he works here, but you can purchase one of these.
Yes, but they look great. I mean, and black. I wear black T-shirts all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so he didn't want to. It just wasn't a good fit, being in an office, and he wanted to do something else. So he actually co-started. I don't know if he started it, but he went into work with the corn maze,
yes,
which is still in operation.
Justin Taylor, who runs the corn maze, who's been an old friend of mine, actually.
He's an old friend of mine
from way back. He's great. We went this year to the corn maze, or last year to the corn maze, which my wife Laura and I had not been in a while, and it was great. We had such a good time.
And that's a long time. I mean, we need to do a story on them, actually.
For real. They've been going for like more than 20 years at this point.
And I don't really know how they do it. I mean, where do they get the corn stalks? How do they set it up? I mean, I guess it's in a cornfield.
Yeah, it's cornfield, yeah.
But did they plant the cornfield for the corn maze?
My understanding is that they plant the field and then they will use pesticide, or not pesticide, like a weed killer or whatever, and they plant the field regular and then they go and kill the area, and then it will all grow up like that. That's my understanding. But you should write that story so we can find out for real.
That's actually a great idea. And you've all heard it here. This was originated right here.
We don't stop here at the Memphis Flyer. We're always coming up with new ideas for new stories for you,
exactly.
our reading, listening, viewing public.
And I hope to be back to talk about the corn maze. But in the meantime, so he did the corn maze, but he wanted to do something, come up with something, and it's just Mempops. He just thought of doing pops. They call them pops. And the hardest part of the story, and for anybody talking about Mempops, is you want to say popsicle. And that's actually a brand, I believe. When we were little, they were known as popsicles, frozen pops. And
oh, wow.
They'd fall off the sticks. And you don't remember popsicles?
No, I didn't know that it was a brand name, but it makes total sense, yeah.
Yeah, it was. So you really can't say generically, I guess you can't generically say Kleenex.
Yeah.
And this is my understanding. Tissues. Yeah, facial tissues, which nobody says. and like Band-Aids, you
Yeah.
just, it'd be great to come up with something that's like turned into
adhesive bandages. Yeah, yes, it would be great to see something that becomes generic. Xerox.
See, I would love, Xerox your copies.
Yeah.
I mean, I always thought it'd be great to come up with something like Charlie Virgos came up with the Rendezvous rub and sauce, and it's uniquely his own thing, and it's his baby. So I guess we all do that in a way, but just to have something like that, you could hope. So that's what he ended up doing, and he came up with. Well, he did like the standard flavors, strawberry and everything like that. And then he'd kind of get fancy and do others. And he even said he had one called Dragon Fruit, which did not work at all.
I had one of the dragon fruits.
Oh.
I remember when I read that, I was like, oh, I tried it.
I couldn't even tell
I don't
you.
know. It kind of was not, it was kind of generic. I don't know. It didn't have a real strong flavor.
Oh, that's interesting.
But the strawberry lemonade is what I get, usually.
He said I think he said that was the most popular.
Yeah.
The strawberry lemonade. But I think that's the last one I got. But the funny thing, and this has nothing to do with anything, but when we were doing these photos, they were like giving us Mempops for the pictures. And I wish I had this on video, but we were walking away and I had my Mempop and I was walking with this guy and a game was going on. And literally this guy was running for the ball or but he went right past me and knocked it clean out of my hand. It was so, and it was gone.
And it was rugby sevens? Is what they played?
Elvis Sevens, and
Yeah.
it's just, they honor, and this will be, you can read all about this, and We Saw You next week will be the Elvis Sevens. But these guys come out, and women, and the guys, well, some of the women even have paste on sideburns, and they honor Elvis, and they have, they play Elvis music in the background while they're playing the game. They have a Mr. Sideburns contest, which women can enter too. But I've covered that for like 38 years.
Oh, wow.
I know, which is
I discovered rugby sevens in the Summer Olympics, I think 2 Summer Olympics ago, and it's extremely entertaining to watch.
It's fun.
It's so much faster than football, and it's like, it's a contact sport, but it's not nearly as brutal as football. And it's something about like wearing all the pads and the helmets makes people like hit harder, I think is what it is.
Imagine. Well, they don't do any of that. And I'll tell you, some of the nicest people I've ever met are rugby players, and it was so much fun after the games, like to go to Celtic Crossing and hang out and it's every year it's fun, and you get a whole bunch of new people. But this year I noticed there were a lot of old friends still playing rugby, I guess in their late 30s, 40s maybe.
That's a little long in the tooth to be playing rugby for me.
But they look the same. That's another great thing. But that was fun. I mean, that was a good thing. But I was very happy when the Mempops truck showed up. But another funny thing because I didn't know anything about Mempops. I didn't know, and I did a story a long time ago for the Flyer it was a cover story on Pancho's cheese dip.
Yeah.
And when I went to the factory, it was just this little place off like Brooks Road or something, and not that many people working there to turn out all of this Pancho's famous cheese dip. And the same thing at this facility on Summer, which I kept getting lost twice trying to find it. There's no sign or anything. But they have all this, I mean, it's almost like if I was writing Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory or something. You walk in and there's a big kind of a standing rack with pineapples. They had watermelons and just all kinds of fruit. And one guy's in there chopping up watermelon, and then they end up like, is it puree? They do two different things. And I found out puree and something else aren't the same thing. But it's like one station, they've got these little things that they put the sticks in, they freeze them. It's just, I talk about how to do that and run some pictures, and I can't even tell you now, but it's this whole method. It's just boom, 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 turning out all of these Mempops.
Yeah, I think they were, if I recall the number correctly, they were saying they were turning out about 1,000 a day.
Yeah, and it's crazy. But he's out there. I mean, they have two Mempops stores in addition to the carts and trailers. So there's Mempops everywhere. But
because one of them is in the Crosstown Concourse, right?
Crosstown Concourse, and then
where's the other one?
It's where the old Rock and Dough Pizza used to be. I think across from MUS on Ridgeway, if I'm not mistaken. But
across from a school. That's good.
And they do I know, and they do have Mempops merch. You can get, I think, caps and T-shirts and stuff. But I usually get a Mempop, like when I'm covering something at the Shell, and I've noticed, I don't think I've ever, like popsicles, I remember when I was little, they would fall up because they were two sticks and kind of a spaceship, double spaceship together.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Together. But it seems like they were always, and probably my age, but they would fall apart and you'd end up with a stick with part of one on it. But I don't think I've ever had a Mempop fall apart.
No, now that you say that, me neither. And they're really well made, and like you said in the story, it's all fresh. Mm-hmm. All the fruit and everything that is fresh, and I love them. My last Mempop I had was at the 4th of July parade in Central Gardens.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there. Did you have a Mempop? Probably.
No, I had free watermelon.
Oh, well.
I wanted a Mempop, but I never got over there. I was taking pictures for the We Saw You column, and I didn't.
The We Saw You every week, which is a page or two, usually in the print edition, and it is documents your adventures around town and the folks that you run into.
Yeah, that's funny. I've been covering parties and events since 1980, since I was at the Memphis Press Scimitar, and it's amazing, like how many people will come up to me, because if you figure how many names have been in the paper between 1980 and 2025, I mean, it's astounding. So I think I've pretty much written about everybody in Memphis.
If you haven't been written up by Michael Donahue yet, just give it time. He'll get to you.
I don't know, find a Mempop van or whatever, and you'll find me.
And if you also, there's some, this is on the YouTube channel. It's where we put it. We're also on Spotify now too.
Oh, great.
As well. But if you poke around our YouTube channel, you can see a couple of videos that we made together of his adventures. One at River Beat, and it's just, I always love following you around with a camera because it's like everybody knows Michael Donahue.
I love you following me around.
I know you can't get like 20 feet without somebody grabbing you.
But I think it all goes back to, well, I mean, I've been this, if I'm counting right, so I started in 75, so this is my 50th year as a reporter.
Mm-hmm.
But people will introduce me now as a photographer. They'll say, "Here's the Memphis photographer, Michael Donahue," and that happened because they gave me a throwaway camera one day and said, "We're not sending a photographer with you anymore. You have to take your own pictures." That was at the Commercial Appeal, and I was like, "How can I do that? How can I take names and write and take pictures too?" And it turned out to be the best thing of all. I mean, that's why I think a lot of people, I've taken their picture. I have, I want to say 15,000 Instagram pictures on there, something crazy.
Oh yeah, the Instagram. Check out his Instagram too, where you will eventually see yourself if you live in Memphis.
Well, I'm honored. When people come in, I'm very flattered and happy. I mean, when somebody comes up and they'll go, "Flyer Donahue," and that's what they know me as, because that's my Instagram name.
Mm-hmm.
And I just always tell them, "You made my day." They know who I am. It used to be, I get that, or it'll be Einstein or Howard Stern or Weird Al Yankovic.
Einstein and Howard Stern. That's a good segue actually, because Weird Al Yankovic has a cameo in the movie that I reviewed this week.
Oh, okay.
It is the Naked Gun reboot with Liam Neeson.
How'd you like it?
I liked it a lot. I liked the original Naked Gun, which was in the late 80s. You know, you remember the Abrams Zucker movies like Airplane and Top Secret. You know, Naked Gun came from a TV series that they did for ABC in like 82. It was called Police Squad. And it ran for 6 or 7 episodes and got immediately canceled, but they spun it off into a movie, which was in '88 with Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen and O.J.
Simpson.
And O.J. Simpson is in it. Priscilla Presley was the love. Remember that? She was the love interest.
That's so funny. I forgot about that.
And she's funny. She's funny in that, and the whole like humor. Well, I mean, it's that big slapstick, like vaudevillian humor.
It's like Shirley, you jest. Don't call me Shirley.
Exactly. I ended my review with the "Don't call me Shirley" because that's one of my favorite
classic
gags of all times. But so they got Liam Neeson to replace Leslie Nielsen, and LM, I guess, which is natural.
That makes sense.
And Seth MacFarlane, who was the Family Guy dude, he's the executive producer, and some of the Lonely Island guys, Akiva is his first name, and I can't remember his last name. Were like direct and produce, and they really nailed that style of humor because I think it's difficult. It's Conan O'Brien once said that the key to great humor is that you have to balance the smart and the stupid, and it's much harder than it sounds. Because if you go too far on one side, it doesn't work, and if you go too far on the smart side, it doesn't work.
And you have to be deadpan. I mean, you can't laugh while you're saying these things.
No,
I mean, it's all that's the key. Just
and that was
and serious.
That was the key to Leslie Nielsen, is that Leslie Nielsen had this career. He was in Forbidden Planet, and he had this like long career of playing like stern authority figures, and so he just played this ridiculous script just like he would have played a real police detective. That's absolutely the key. And Liam Neeson is in the same boat because he was in Taken and he had all those action movies. He's in the same boat, and I went in with extremely low expectations, and they were greatly exceeded. It's funny. It's, nonstop dad humor, I guess, but it's also just like really well constructed. And of course, I went with my wife, and she's always like comments on the editing, and it was really well edited.
That's good.
It's only 90 minutes, so it's like in and out.
You mentioned Forbidden Planet, and are you talking about the one in the 50s?
Yes.
This was so funny. My dad worked for Paramount Distributing Company, the movie company. All of them used to be here, MGM and Warner's. They all had offices.
They were down on Front Street, weren't they? That Paramount.
Well, that was one office, but there was Film Row over off of Vance. I mean, between Vance and, you've seen it, but that's where they all were located at one point. But I remember when we were little, so this had to be, when it came out, and it had to be in the 50s, mid-50s, but my brother really wanted, was that the movie Robbie the Robot?
That was where Robbie the Robot originated, yeah.
Okay, so my brother was huge on robots. So my dad brought each of us home a one-sheet, the great big ads that they put on the front of the theater with Robbie the Robot. And I wish we had them. I mean, I wish I still had those, because they were the big thing. And we have a photo of both of us when we were little holding our Forbidden Planet posters. If I could find that, I'll definitely get you that.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
That would be funny.
But there's another film this week that I wrote about that is premiering on Friday. That is called "It's Never Over, Jeff Buckley." And did you remember Jeff Buckley?
Do you know, I was around for that, and it would seem natural that I would have met him somewhere, and maybe I did, but I don't. I was looking at your picture of him, and I don't think I ever met him. But I mean, that story is so hauntingly Southern.
It is Gothic. Very Southern Gothic, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, of all the things, because I'm one of those people that will not put my toe in the Mississippi River.
Oh.
Because we were always told there are undercurrents and it'll pull you under.
Oh, totally.
And that sounds like that's what happened.
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. So if you don't know, Jeff Buckley was a rock star in the 90s, early 90s, and he had one great album that he did. And he's the guy, you know, that Leonard Cohen song Hallelujah, you know? So he was like, and there's been 300 recorded covers of that song at least.
Wow.
He was like the first guy to do it. Him and John Cage were like the first people to do it. And his version is so beautiful that that's what everybody thinks they can do, you know, with that song. But you can't, because he had this incredible voice, and he was very much influenced by like Sufi mystics and Nina Simone and Led Zeppelin. It was this really strange combination of influences and skill. And anyways, the movie's great. It's this weekend. There's so much more to him than just like the story of how he died. I highly recommend it. It's going to be, I think, Magnolia Pictures released it, and it's got a limited release, so it's not in a lot of theaters in America. But it's going to be at Malco Ridgeway this week at least, maybe more than that if people go see it. But highly recommend it. It's a great documentary, also not super long, which is good. And it's called It's Never Over, Jeff Buckley. Highly, highly recommend it. On Friday, Robert Gordon, the documentarian, is going to do a panel with Andrea Lyle, the music writer who was here and was friends with Jeff Buckley.
Friends with everybody.
She was friends with everybody in the music scene. That's true. And the film's editor as well, are going to be there. So check that out. Michael, thank you very much for driving up here and being with us.
It was fun.
We record these in Archer Studios in Midtown, and we are surrounded by musical instruments, and one of the musical instruments we are currently surrounded by is a beautiful piano. And guess what? Michael Donahue plays piano.
What a surprise.
Thank you. This is the Memphis Flyer Podcast. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.